What is Smite 2? In this video, I'll be going over all the most recent details about Smite 2. Some people are confused about what Smite 2 actually is. Hi-Res Studios is releasing their true sequel to the game Smite Battleground of the Gods, called simply Smite 2. It is a third-person MOBA that emphasizes teamwork and strategy, exactly like the predecessor, Smite. Smite 2 upgrades from Unreal Engine 3 to Unreal Engine 5, which has been extremely outdated at this point. This is a necessary change for Smite due to the engine being 18 years old now. This brings a whole bunch of new changes, most noticeable, the graphics. But Smite 2 is not just a graphic rehaul and a balance patch, unlike some other game. No, Smite 2 is being remade from the ground up with new mechanics, objectives, and abilities. Think of it more like a fresh start to the game of Smite. One of the biggest changes they are doing are the change of the power system. Smite 1 has a power system of magical power and physical power. Magical power is meant for mages and guardians, while physical power is made for warriors, hunters, and assassins. This system is getting completely revamped in Smite 2, changing to simply a strength and intelligence system. For example, Kukulkan will purely have intelligence because you have no need for strength items, unless you like a passive for a strength item, because his abilities will only scale with intelligence. Same goes for a god like Loki, who has no need for intelligence because it doesn't scale for any of his abilities, but if you want an intelligence item, you can use it for the passive. Here's where it starts to differ. Kurnanos, a traditional hunter that scaled with physical power in Smite 1, will now scale with strength for his auto attacks, but some of his abilities, like his ultimate that transforms you, will now scale with intelligence. One of the bigger changes is that Smite 2 is rebuilding their item building system. Instead of just building it to one item and then progressively going up a tree, you can build a certain stat like attack speed and then buy any item that has attack speed through that item. For example, if you build an attack speed shortbow, you can either go into a demon blade or an executioner's. It doesn't matter. This will provide Smite with a more deeper, enriching balance system and bigger learning curve, something that the game desperately needs. Smite's previous roster is up to 129 gods, which is quite the expansive roster to recreate from the ground up. Smite 2 currently has a roster of 10 gods for the pre-alpha. These gods are Odin, Loki, Kurnanos, Ymir, Kukulkan, Bellona, Bacchus, Anubis, and Anhur and Chak. Smite 2 is going to be getting their own very unique god as well, named Hecate. Hecate is a magical god. It looks like she would scale off of intelligence. We don't really know that much about her, but that's the gist of her. Some of these gods, specifically Ymir, Anhur, and Anubis, have reworked abilities, such as Ymir's wall can make him rocket jump, and it also knocks up enemies. Anhur's ult has him throwing spears, and then one large giant big spear. And Anubis' ult does a big chunk of damage, and then does ticks after. Expect a lot of different gods to get this type of treatment coming into the game from Smite 1 to Smite 2. The devs have stated that they will try to release a god once per week or once every 2 weeks to get the roster to a solid 100 characters by the end of the year. I believe that this is actually going to be very good for the game. It allows newer players to catch up to speed and learn alongside Smite 2's growth. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Your skins and gems from Smite 1. Your skins will not be crossing over from Smite 1 to Smite 2. They simply just could not do this with the overwhelming amount of work that it would take to recreate over 1,600 skins from Unreal Engine 3 to Unreal Engine 5. And keep in mind, this isn't just, you can't just transfer them over, they have to completely remake them. It would take them 245 man-years to recreate all the skins and put them into the game. It is just not logically possible for them to do that and still come out with a good game at the exact same time. However, and this is a big however, they will be compensating you with a brand new currency called Legacy Gems. The amount of gems that you will get in Smite 2 is determined how many gems you bought in Smite 1. For example, if you bought 10,000 gems in Smite 1, you would get 10,000 Legacy Gems in Smite 2. These Legacy Gems can be used for 50% of any skins in Smite 2. For example, if a skin costs 100 gems, you would be able to spend 50 of your Legacy Gems and then 50 of the other currency to get the rest of the skin. Also, if when skins get added that were originally from Smite 1, they will be 100% off with Legacy Gems. And if you were to buy any new skins in Smite 1 that have the cross-gen tags on them, they will transfer over to Smite 2. Smite 2's pre-alpha test will be starting sometime in the spring on weekends bi-weekly. To get into their pre-alpha test, you can go register online at smite2.com, which will have a link in the description, or you can buy Smite 2's Founder Bundle, which will give you all the gods in the game and will double, yes, double your legacy gems. I would highly recommend buying it. It has insane value. As for the official release, it is sometime later this year. Overall, Smite 2 is a ginormous upgrade to Smite in every single way imaginable. I would greatly appreciate if you guys would give a like and subscribe to this video. Any feedback would be helpful. I greatly value your guys' time if you made it to the end of this video. And with that, play some Smite.